Week 6 of college football is in the books, and that means it's time to give out the college football awards that we do weekly. Best offense, defense, team, and game from this past weekend. So let's go ahead and get right into this week's awards and see who takes home the hardware. Just a couple of quick rules before we get into these. You can be nominated for multiple awards, but you can only win one award per week. And the second rule is if you played an FCS school, it does not count. So if you beat up on Bethune Cookman 48-7, you put up 700 yards, it doesn't matter. You won't be nominated for an award. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and look at this week's nominees for the awards. Starting off on the offensive side of the ball, like we always do, our three nominees for week 6 are Michigan, Georgia, and UNC. Georgia had 51 points, 608 total yards, and one turnover against number 20 Kentucky. Michigan, 52 points, 432 total yards, and zero turnovers on the road at Minnesota. And the third and final nominee is North Carolina, 40 points, 644 yards, one turnover against Syracuse at home. Your winner for best offense of week 6 goes to North Carolina. They really liked how they played coming out of the bye week. They looked very good on both sides of the ball. You'll see them nominated here in the team section in a moment. But they just manhandled Syracuse on the offensive side of the ball. They looked very good, very impressed with how they looked. Flipping over, let's go to the other side of the ball. We have Miami, Ohio, as one of your nominees for best defense. Ohio State and Louisville are your nominees. Let's go ahead and break these down. First up, Miami, Ohio. They shut out their opponent in Bowling Green. Bowling Green was coming off a huge win at Georgia Tech the week before. They only gave up 135 yards, and they forced one turnover. The next nominee was Louisville. They played a high-powered offense in Notre Dame. 20 points allowed, 298 yards allowed, and they forced 5 turnovers. The third and final nominee was Ohio State. They played Maryland at home. 17 points allowed, 302 yards allowed, and two forced turnovers this past weekend. This was really hard to decide between the three schools, especially Louisville with having the 5 turnovers, Maryland with the two forced turnovers. But at the end of the day, Miami, Ohio, they pitched a shutout. We have to show some love to the group of 5 schools. It's probably going to be a little controversial, but I really like Miami of Ohio's performance. So they get the nod for best defense of week 6. Let's go to the best team now. Three nominees here as well. UNC, Georgia, and South Alabama. Let's look over all three of these. North Carolina, we already talked about their offense. Defense, 7 points allowed, 221 yards allowed, and two forced turnovers. Georgia, we talked a little bit about their offense, 600 yards, 51 points. Defense did not force any turnovers, 13 points allowed, and 183 yards given up to Kentucky. And the third and final nominee is South Alabama. They beat Louisiana Monroe 55-7, 589 yards on offense, one turnover. They gave up 250 yards on defense, and they forced 2 turnovers. The best team of week 6, that award goes to the University of Georgia. A lot of doubts, a lot of talk this past week about is Georgia really good enough to even make a run at the college football playoff. Very good Kentucky team was coming to town, and they just shut them down. They played well on offense. They were moving the ball with ease the entire game. It seemed like Georgia, just both sides of the ball for 60 minutes, absolutely looked like the best team, not just on the field, but across all of college football. And the final award we give out is for the best game. Your three nominees are Alabama at Texas A&M, Arizona at USC, and Texas versus Oklahoma in Dallas. Let's break these games down. First up, we have Arizona at USC, 43-41 in triple overtime, 871 total yards. USC stuffed Arizona's 2-point attempt in the third overtime to survive the upset. Next game we had was Alabama at Texas A&M. 26-20 was the final. 650 total yards. Alabama had a crucial third down conversion with just 2 minutes left that was able allowed them to run out the clock from there, and they get a huge victory to continue to propel themselves back into. They were never out of SEC contention, but I mean they're still in college football playoff contention at this point with just one loss. And the third and final nominee for best game was Texas versus Oklahoma in Dallas. 34-30 was the final score. Over 1,000 yards of offense combined. Oklahoma scored the game-winning touchdown with 15 seconds left after Texas had just, uh, tied it up, or gone ahead um, to with I think it was a little over a minute left. They go ahead, looks like they have it, and then Oklahoma just drives right down the field on them, and they score that game-winning touchdown. Your winner for best game of week 6 is going to go to the Texas Oklahoma game. This was such a great way to start off Saturday of college football. You can't beat a last minute game winning drive, especially with the stakes that were put into this game. Both teams being ranked inside the top 15. Um, I really feel like we're going to see these two teams again in a little over a month and a half down in Dallas in a different stadium. I really feel like if these two make the Big 12 championship, they should stop playing it in Jerry World and still play it at the Cotton Bowl. I think that'd be fun. But regardless, I think we're on track to see these two meet up again, just like we did. I think it was 2018 when Oklahoma and Texas played twice in the season. But I think that's where we're headed again. But this was a great game, an amazing way to start off our Saturday. So that'll do it for the College Football Awards of Week 6. As always, we thank you guys so much for checking us out. Make sure you drop a like and a subscribe. We make college football content weekly. Head over to our TikTok. We do college football content daily over there. Would really appreciate the follow. As always, thank you guys for your support, and we will see you in the next video.